Thanks for
Okay,
coming
welcome
on.
everybody. We're having our second No Permissions Health call. And tonight we have some special guests to talk about the Lifewave patches and the technology behind them. I want to thank Tiffany and Sheila for helping us in our first couple of weeks of launching the business, as well as AJ Rip City to bring us. We're already made it to level 2 managers, and we haven't even been trying that hard. AJ's been kicking ass and really doing it, spreading the word, talking to everybody he can, and he's a really good example. But tonight we have Casey and Candy Mitzel here tonight to help us understand how these patches work and what's the technology behind them that the founder David Schmidt came up with, and he has all these patents, and I want to learn more. Casey and Candy, if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So Candy is actually with me, but she's about 6 feet away across the hall. So she's in another office. We don't play nice together in the same office. So we're here together but separate. Yeah, so we've been doing now Lifeway for about 2 years, actually almost exactly 2 years. We came on for well, I'll get into it with my story, but we came on and had very great success with our health and with the things that were happening with that. So we naturally just needed to start sharing with other people. We've been in the health space, health industry, fitness industry for 31, 32 years. So we've been all about nutrition and supplementation and just really anything that's going to help people improve their lives, feel better, live longer, recover faster, all those things. That's been our passion. When we walked into this, we were just like, oh my goodness, like everybody needs to know about this. So that's kind of how we got started.
All right, thank you. Candy, can you introduce yourself as well?
Yes, hi, I'm Candy Mitzel, and of course, I'm the better half of Casey, right? That's how it works, ladies, sometimes. No, as I said, we've literally have been doing business together since we started dating, and that's been about 30 years. And so it's been fun. So when he says, his office is there, mine is here, we actually do get along really great, but presenting wise, it's easier for him to do it on his own. But I love the opportunity that this has given to us, both on the wellness side of it and also on the business side of it. And we really fell in love with it after we started doing a little bit of research and got to understand who David Schmidt was and just his heart behind wellness and technology, and that he just keeps going. He's not satisfied with stopping with what he's already invented and created. And so we know that long term, there's so much more that we will be able to offer. And that's, one of the things that we were attracted to. But as Casey will get into the presentation a little bit more, and we'll share a little bit more of our story. But we absolutely love. We've gotten to know Tiffany a little bit. Sheila, I've met before. It's going to be exciting to see you guys up and coming. But we truly are on an amazing team. And that's one of the things that Casey and I absolutely love is we're on the right team. With our direct mentors and then their direct mentors, and then just having, David Schmidt so close with everything that he does. It's been incredible. So I don't want to take any more time, and we'll get into just presentation, sharing with you what we have.
Thank you, Candy. Casey, go ahead, buddy. Let's get this presentation.
Okay, so I already warned I'm new to this platform, so I'm going to share screen. So if anything's messed up, I might not be able to see it. So make sure that somebody, Candy, knock on my door. Let me know. So how are we looking right now?
There you go.
Okay. All right. So let's just start right from here then. And I can't see anybody, so if you're making faces at me, actually, this is really a good thing that I sometimes get nervous when something so important as this, when I'm discussing this, because I don't want anything that I say to impact your ability to get started on this technology. So it's kind of nice when I can't see everybody. But the big question is, have you been patched? And if you have not been patched, I would ask you to ask that question, why? Or how can I get these on my body as quickly as possible? So I want to give you a little bit of background on me. My degrees in nutrition sciences and dietetics. My second major was health education. I've been a certified personal trainer for really my entire life, about 32 years, I guess you could say. I do everything from certified nutrition coaching. I do virtual training. And we like to just make sure that we're helping people out in any area that we can possibly do that, whether it's supplementation, whether, and that's kind of how my platform started, is that my background was helping people find supplementation that was actually potent enough to do what it says that it's supposed to do, and that it was from a reputable source. So when I reached out to my warm market with this product, it was literally like, hey guys, I'm onto something new. And because of that, a lot of people just, they just dove right in, which is great. So if you have a circle of influence of people who trust you, this really is about a business of who do you know, who trusts, and who do you love, and who do they trust? And hopefully it will be you, because once people hear about this information, they sometimes go, oh, let me like look into this a little bit. But when they know that it's coming from a trusted resource like you, they're going to be likely to jump on and test it out. So if we do get into any kind of testimonials, if we get into any stories like that, we just want to throw our disclaimer up here. We do not treat, diagnose, cure any type of diseases. And if we start talking about financial benefits of this company, we want you to know that we can't guarantee a penny of earnings, but we know that it's possible. And what you can do with this business is pretty incredible. So this is just our normal disclaimer here. So Candy, my co-host, who's actually in the other room right across the hallway from here. But we've been in this business now for about almost exactly 2 years, just over 2 years. We started, I think it was like around February 14th, our 1 year anniversary into the business. We reached the highest rank of the company. So that was pretty exciting, because we saw fast growth and we saw fast success, not only with our health, but with the business. So let me kind of give you an idea of where I was coming from. So this is prior to my 50th birthday. I had committed to doing a bodybuilding show for my 50th, and I hadn't competed for 25 years prior to that. So I did compete when I was in my 20s, and I took 25-year hiatus of just general fitness and staying healthy. And then I decided I wanted to do a bodybuilding show for my 50th, and kind of just hallmark that date. The problem was that I was having severe discomfort in my elbows and my low back, and it was making it pretty impossible to train. In fact, it would come back about every 5 to 7 days. It would come back. I'd have to modify my workouts. I wasn't able to lift the way that I wanted to. It was really becoming frustrating. I'd have to do massage. I'd have to do red light. I'd do all the things to try to get back and then start training again. So a good friend of ours had introduced us to this about a year prior, and we were thinking about it, researching it, doing all these things. And we finally decided, or I finally decided, once the pain got to the point where I was having challenges with it, I called up my buddy and I said, hey, I know you're doing this for your shoulder. Let me know about it, because I need to try something. And so, long story short, I was able to basically start training the way that I wanted to. Really, the sleep benefits that I got from the X39, and I quickly added in the X49, which is our performance patch. You can kind of see on the top left. Once I started to experience the benefits, there's some secondary patches that we use that are just absolutely incredible. So I was doing some for blood sugar balance and appetite control. Of course, the energy enhancers, which is what the Navy SEALs used, and the U.S. Olympic swim team. I was doing just about everything, because if you guys know bodybuilders, you know that they just do everything that they possibly can to just kind of limit the amount of stress and tension that you're under. But I would have to say this was the best cut that I ever did. Maybe being over 50 allowed me a little bit of more maturity, a little bit better kind of like grounding. But I tell you what, it was an outstanding performance. I won all my classes, the over 50, and all the different categories that I was in, and I had a blast. So sometimes getting down to like 3% body fat is not that much fun. This was definitely worth it, and I have to say it was an experience like I had never experienced before. So because of that, and because of how it really responded, and because of our field, we immediately knew that we needed to share this with people. And here's the irony of this. During that year of discovery, that year of us kind of researching it and trying to figure out if this is something that we were going to need or do, we were getting ready to open up a restoration spa, essentially. It's kind of like a studio. But it was, we were going to franchise, we were going to do red light therapy, infrared sauna, cryotherapy, biochargers, if you've ever seen that, hyperbaric chamber, just all the modalities, hot, cold plunge. And when you start looking at how much that costs to get started and how much you're going to be in debt to kick off a business like that, we had just at the time, the time that we went down to look at the equipment that we were going to have to purchase, we were patching. So when you look at the two in contrast, conventional businesses, they're high startup costs, high risk, lots of stress, long hours, trial and error. Learning curve is generally pretty hard to learn everything you need to know about the business. And then usually you end up with a fixed income, or in some cases, I've been part of franchises where you don't end up with any income and you're just taking care of the business and making sure your employees are taken care of. So, look over on the other side, and you've got this low startup cost, no risk, stress-free, proven system, great mentorship, flexible income. And I have to say, it's a lot of fun. And that's what we noticed right away was how much fun this possibly can be. So here's the ultimate purpose and mission. I mean, obviously, we want to live long, we want to live well, we want to feel like we're living younger, really. And we have this commitment to making sure that people are seeing those benefits. And so we know that as everybody has this thing called age happening, is that there's going to be tons of opportunity for people to improve the way that they feel, look, and how they show up every day in life. So the current issues, we really start talking about stem cells. And when you look at stem cells, they gradually start to go dormant as we age. So the issue with that is that they're really responsible for everything in your body to kind of work the way that it's supposed to work. So at 30, only 50% of our stem cells are active. At 60, less than 10%. We start getting into our 70s and 80s. And of course, we all know that the natural degradation of the human body is to break down, and we won't be here forever. But I think most of us will agree that if we can live to our fullest during the time that we're here, and maybe even cheat a few additional years, like that would be pretty cool. So, as we already discussed, stem cells are the master building blocks. They're literally responsible for everything. They're found in tissues and organs, and they really start to do the repair process for any damaged cells that need to be regenerated. And what you'll find with stem cells is they kind of know where to go. Like when your body is dealing with something, and usually it's the most important thing. So there's definitely cases where people got started with the patches for one reason, and later on through lab work and through other things, they discovered that they were making corrections in things that they hadn't even really thought would happen. So that's been pretty cool to see that happen. What's really cool is that we actually received the company actually received this great award, and this product combination of our Cellergize Morning, which is a simple supplement that actually helps the cells communicate better. So I don't want to call it electrolyte because it's not only that, but electrolytes are really important for this for anytime you're working through electrical signaling through the body. But the combination has been shown to just really have an impact in the cells. So this was put on this actual award was through thousands of different nominations in over 15 different countries. So to be awarded the biotech breakthrough for cell innovation was kind of a confirming note that we're on to something big. So that brings us to David Schmidt. Okay, David Schmidt, the thing I love about him is that he's not a doctor. He's not in the health industry, although now he is. But he spent a lot of time and a lot of money, 4.5 million, to bring this X39 to market. He's got over 200 patents, and I guess by next year he's slated to have 300 patents. But he's a scientist and he's an inventor, and he just absolutely loves to I guess you could say tinkle in the lab, right? He just tinker in the lab. And what I love about where this company is going is that it doesn't just stop with health. It's all things that are going to improve, human life. So when we get into the drone technology, when we get into the green energy, when we start talking about light water, when we start talking about light infused supplements that will go to the direct source, I mean, this is all future stuff that he's working on. It just shows you that there's there's no finish line for where Lifewave is going to go. And right now we're on something really big with the X39 and the other patches, of course. So this is how it works. So I know a lot of people are interested in the science, and they kind of want to know, where does this break down in the spectrum of phototherapy and red light and all that kind of stuff. But this is a form of phototherapy. It kind of works along the lines of photobiomodulation, which basically means that you're using your own body's light to create or to signal something in your body that's going to make a response to that. So the best way to kind of explain it is if you were outside and you get hit with direct sunlight, which isn't even possible here in Oregon at this time of year, you will actually start to create vitamin D3. Okay, so vitamin D3 doesn't just shoot into your skin from the sun, but basically the light will stimulate and create, your body will create the processes to make that happen. That's called photobiomodulation. So we see that with serotonin, we see that with melatonin. As it gets dark outside, your melatonin increases, serotonin decreases, you start to get sleepy, and you fall asleep. When the sun comes up, if you don't have your blackout curtains on, then guess what happens? Serotonin increases, your melatonin drops, and you wake up. So completely non-transdermal, non-invasive. We got no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. This has actually been tested through the World Anti-Doping Agencies, just because when the U.S. Olympic swim team broke all their records and were winning gold medals, they were using the patch technology. So it did go through all of that. Of course, we already knew nothing enters the skin, and it's this patented nanocrystal technology. So to explain it maybe in a little bit more detail, let's just stay here. Just think of it like a mirror. Okay, so you have this patch that's about the size of a quarter. The most common place to wear it is right on the back of your neck, just below the C6 on your vertebrae. And your body's light, its infrared light and its heat, will reflect off that mirror or the nanocrystal technology. And how it's been put together, it signals it back in a particular wavelength. And that wavelength is the one that's directly responsible for increasing your body's natural GHK-Cu copper peptide. Okay, and GHK copper peptide is really closely associated with how your stem cells respond. So, and when we're young, we have lots of GHK. When we're young, we have fully functioning stem cells. As we age, as you saw on the slides previous, that starts to decline. With that also declines GHK-Cu copper peptide. So it's not uncommon that people have now started to hear about that because of all the effects that are created from that. So you have, skin, wrinkles, collagen, all the things. I guess that's on this slide. Increased strength, mental clarity, improved sleep, stamina, energy and vitality, and improved skin appearance. And, going back to that pre-contest scenario, I experienced every single one of these things. And in fact, probably at a really heightened awareness because of what I was putting my body through at the time. And it was a really controlled environment because nutrition was dialed in, my workouts were structured, everything, my supplementation was structured. So when I just introduced these, it was like, whoa, that's different. And I'm talking about sleep. And sleep is probably one of the most important things, and what people notice almost immediately, because your body's going through a restoration process while you're sleeping. So if you're having poor sleep, you're not even giving it half a chance to recover and repair overnight. So that's it's been just a blessing to have that working in our lives. So in the first couple of days, here's what you can expect. First couple of days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 3 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Within 90 days, collagen increases. And after 6 months, it supports your overall body's wellness. And that can look different for everybody. It's going to be interesting to see what that looks like for you, because everybody has a different experience. Because again, I got started because of my elbow discomfort. Candy got started because of premenopause issues and autoimmunities and things like that. And we both had results. So it doesn't, it's not particular to where you place it. It's not particular to male, female, or any of those things. It's literally just your stem cells go to where they need to go to make those corrections. So how do you wear it? So, well, the two most common spots are these spots right here, just below, or just at your C7, and then right here about an inch below your belly button. And you wear these for 12 hours, and then you give your body time to reset. So with any kind of light therapy, there's going to be an attenuation period. So that means that you're going to stimulate, give your body the response, but you don't want it to get too used to it. So at 12 hours, you take it off. And it's a really simple way of thinking about this is, let's say you get up in the morning, 8 a.m., you brush your teeth, you put your patch on, and you take it off at 8 p.m. And in some cases, people will put on a different evening patch. We can get into that in the Q&A. But then you have your 12-hour reset, and then the next day, next morning, you do the same thing. You open up a new patch, stick it on, and away you go. We do have a slogan that we like to say, place it, if you put it where it hurts and it works. So some people do like, if you have something going on back here in the, the posterior deltoid, you could apply it back there. It doesn't really matter with the X39 and the X49. There are some other the secondary patches that are a little bit more acupressure specific, and they do have places that are recommended to wear those for full body support, because this is really going to support the full body, not just the little spot below your belly button, which I don't know if anybody needs work with that area. So this is where you go find additional information. So if you want to see the patents, if you want to see the videos explaining phototherapy, the thisisit.info.com is a great resource to go to. All that stuff is on there. And then, when we were looking at the company and we decided that we wanted to really share this technology, we had to look at a couple of different things. And it was really important to us that we knew who was at the top and who was really in charge. And that's going to be the CEO, David Schmidt, that we already talked about. And his passion and mission just really aligned with everything that we wanted to do. Not only that, but his integrity is bar none. So we noticed that immediately. And then we saw that actually through our whole entire support line. So, we're part of what's called This Is It team, which same thing, integrity, driven people that just want success for other people. It's pretty amazing. We're also part of the Champion Makers team. And that also are some dear friends of ours who got us started. We actually met them through ministry, and we trust them with our lives. And that's why when we started seeing the testimonials and some of the things, we're just like going, hey, these testimonials are incredible. Man, are like, that's great. Like, this is really some cool stuff. And we just knew that Danny and Diane were never going to be lying to people to get them started on a product. So we're like, okay, it's real. Now we just have to experience it ourselves. So who's on top is really important. You got a consumable product that basically, you need a new one every day. So you put it on so you can see how that, just like with your Apple products, there's just one product after another. And so they just keep coming out. Little to no competition in the marketplace. The system is duplicatable. We really want to make sure that it's easy and simple for people to do this, because you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a stem cell scientist. You have to just basically love people and talk to people about what is possible with this technology and have them give it a try. Minimal startup costs. We'll talk a little bit about that. The pay plan is phenomenal, and really some cutting edge innovation that you're going to see, and it just keeps coming out. David just keeps thinking about what else is out there. So, when we talk about red ocean, a lot of people, they take a look at, they want to share supplements with people. They want to share skin products with people. Everybody's fishing in that lake because, there's just, it's really common. But when you have a patented technology and you have something like this, that's not only cutting edge, but it's really the hottest topic out there right now, which is this regenerative type of health. But we're the only ones fishing in this lake right now, because we do have the patent and nobody else can do what we do with the X39. So the company, and because of that, the result here has been, when that was released, the company's been around for 22 years. I think we're coming up as 21, 22 years. 22, I believe, because we celebrated the 20th when we first came in. But in 2021, they were at 20 million. X39 and X49 released, and you can see the growth pattern of the company just literally skyrocketed. 2 years in a row. I won't be surprised when we win it the third year in a row coming up. But the Bravo Growth Award winner for this business growth. And then you can just see that we're ranked number 1 in momentum from home-based businesses. It just continues to grow and grow and grow and grow. So it's super exciting. It's a great time to get in. If you came into this call and you've never heard of this before, then you kind of like fit that mold of like walking through the neighborhood and not everybody's heard of this. And that's kind of a cool thing. And then it is starting to rev up a little bit. So maybe you have heard about it from a couple of people, and now you're finally figuring out exactly what this is and learning how to take advantage of that. So when we take a look at the brand partner option, what we're looking at here is like, do you want to come in and be a product user? And you're totally welcome to do that. In fact, a lot of people get started that way because they just don't know if they're going to share with anybody yet. But when you do decide that you want to share, you got to take a look at what it is that you want to get out of the business portion of it. And it was easy for us because, you know, we're business minded. Although we didn't look at this as being like a huge, like we weren't planning for this to be a huge business driver, but we were planning to impact a lot of lives just because we've been involved with health and fitness and wellness for so long. It's just what we do. So when we found a product that was going to do that, you can just naturally see that it was going to also build a large business at the same time. But for some people, they just want a little bit of extra income. Maybe it pays for your products so that it doesn't feel like you're out of pocket there. Other people are a little bit affiliate minded. They're like, okay, I'm going to share with a couple family members and some close friends, and why not, earn a couple $100 in the meantime? That can always be helpful because who in this day and age isn't looking for additional income? But if you are business minded and you do want to grow a team of people who are just sharing this, just loving and sharing on people, then the business minded person might be the path that you want to go. So here's the different levels of how you would get started. So as I was saying, there's really three main ways that somebody can get started with this. So there's the retail customer, which quite honestly nobody ever does, because if you have the option to get this for $99.95 instead of full retail, you should take advantage of that. So I guess the other thing that we do as brand partners is we talk you through the whole process so that you can find the best opportunity for you. So in this case, what I would recommend to every single person is that when you come on, and if you decide that you're getting started with an X39, that you come on as a preferred customer, if you're going this route. And with that, you'll get the wholesale pricing, and you'll make sure that you never run out of patches because you're going to get a new sleeve every month. Okay, so that's a great way to get started with that. If you decide either after that point to come on as a brand partner because you want to share the business with other people, then you do have the ability to upgrade and go to this brand partnership. If you're one of those people that we talked about in the last slide, then you might want to get started with the business right off the bat because you already know it's skyrocketing, it's going to be successful, and you want to get in now and you want to start sharing it immediately. In fact, it's not uncommon that, when somebody gets started with the patches, they're even waiting for them to arrive, that they're still telling other people about it because join the party, right? The first people that we even talked to were our family members, our moms. Candy got her mom started. I got my mom started. My sisters, her sisters. We wanted to reach out to our family and make sure that they were taken care of first. And then we just obviously reached out to our people that love to work out, but they don't like to work out if it's not comfortable. And then we started getting into their family members who needed this because we learned that they were having this challenge, that challenge, and that challenge, just like because everybody can use these things. So it's pretty cool. If you do come on as a brand partner, they have what's called enrollment kits. And these really are credits. So this is a 6 credit. And the way they break it down on the slide is they show you if you were to do X39s, which are valued at 2 credits, then you would have 3 sleeves of X39. And it shows you that the cost per sleeve goes down based on the X39 wholesale rate. But if you do decide to customize this is what your brand partner and the person who told you about the technology can help you actually design a customized package for whatever you might have going on. Maybe you need the Silent Night, which is a sleep support. Maybe you need the glutathione, which is an antioxidant. Maybe you need a carnosine or one of the other patches for skin and collagen. The cool thing is as you saw on that slide in 2021 when X39 came out, it covered all the bases. It checked off all the boxes, and it really does so many things because of how it responds with the body. But there are some cases where people want to add additional sleeves, and going back to my experience in the beginning was when I saw what these could do, I needed to experience all of them, and we continue to use every single one of these patches because it just has been such an impact in our lives. So you're looking at $295 for the 6 credit, $535 for the 12 credit, and the $975 for the 22 credit. And then for the 40 credit, which is really how we kind of look at these, is if you're a business-minded entrepreneur, if you have a retail space, maybe you're a chiropractor, maybe you're a functional medicine doctor, maybe you're somebody who just wants to have retail available. Otherwise, what we do with all of these is they're available for business leverage, which means, and your brand partner will teach you about this as well, but sometimes you just have a sleeve handy and somebody's ready to sign up, you can sign them up. You can give them the sleeve so they can get started without any delay, and say when your sleeve comes in, we can just exchange it, and then at least you can get started today. So it's good to have some. So I don't want to call it inventory because you're not obligated to have any inventory with this business, but having some things available because you don't want to run out of your personal patches, and you want to make sure that you can help others when the time comes up. So again, before we open this up for question and answer, you're not left alone at this. This community is fantastic. The people who are on this call are fantastic leaders. So you're going to have all kinds of ability to tap in and really learn the structured system so that it's simple and easy. So whether you're doing this as a side project, or you're doing it for just additional income, or you're doing this to literally create whatever you want to create in your life, it's all possible. And it's always great to just get plugged into this system so that you can do it the easiest and best way possible. So the compensation plan, not going to get into that because it's complicated, but what's great about a complicated business structure is that just means there's a lot of ways to earn income. So 9 ways to earn in this case. You start out with obviously with the retail profit and customer premium, but you get into all kinds of business and mentorship type of bonuses and pay, basically pay bonuses. So it's actually really, really lucrative. So that's where we are. So let's open this thing up for question and answer, because I know people have a lot of maybe detailed questions about the science. Let me see if I can pop out of the screen.
Yeah, you just stop the screen share and you should be fine.
All right. Yep, fine.
You're changing your slide.
I know. I don't know. I gotta go back and correct that. Okay, here we go. There we are.
Let me save you.
Casey, there's a question in the chat window.
I do not know what essential energy is. Is if that's a product. I'd click on the link, but I can do that later. I can do it now. Who knows where the screen will take me. So I'm not familiar with that, but I do love to explore, especially everything. And I can give you an answer to that later. Firehorse.
Yeah, it's the second time I've seen that come up in my group, that question. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a couple of vibratum type of patches that are available on the market. They operate completely different. And, I just know with this technology and what we experienced, it's been so fantastic that as far as I'm concerned, everything else is kind of a copycat in a lot of ways. And because they can't copycat the patent, it's just a little bit different. But if it is light therapy, I'm a big fan of light therapy. So I will research that just because I like to be in the know. And I don't like to do Q&As and not know any answers to questions. So, so there's that. All right.
Our cat's very sick. She has FIV, feline immunodeficiency virus, right? So we give my wife, she gives the red light therapy for our cat. And then Tiffany made the comment that she puts the patches that are already used on her cat after she uses them. So we're going to try to do that with our little girl and see if that helps her.
Absolutely. And you know who else does that? Sometimes wives need to do that to their husbands. So you can have, there's going to be a little bit extra life in the patches. We say 12 hours, there could be 15, there could be 16. It's going to be I would imagine on average, or just depending on how your body utilizes it. But it's not uncommon that you take that patch off, place it on a pet, place it on a family member or whatever, and let them experience it. And then when you do see the benefits, then a full powered patch would be a fantastic thing to add.
Very cool. It's just for me, I don't have my patches yet. We're still waiting on ours. They'll be here probably by Friday or Monday at the latest. What are the initial benefits that you've seen with the X39? What's the thing that you've seen to see the fastest?
Yeah, great question. And here's how I usually frame this, because it's different for everybody. I'm always like, we haven't been able to figure out the algorithm for who literally has an on the hour experience. There's been people I've seen people everywhere where they respond immediately. I've seen people who it's taken a day or 2 or 3. I've seen people where it takes 3 months before they see all, some of the benefits that they were looking to get. So how we always coach on this is that you want to wear them for 1 month for every decade of age. So if you're 50, you would want to commit to 5 months, because that's where you're going to break into the deepest stuff that can be repaired and give your body enough time to really respond to that. We have all kinds of cases where we didn't even know that it was possible. Like, so for example, and I will share Candy's story, but she can stop me and share it herself if she wants to. But she had a double tear in her shoulder labrum, which she was told surgery was going to be the only solution for that. And after about 8 months, that she no longer had issues training, so she had full strength and full power again. So that we did not expect that because of the the diagnosis that was given. So but what I would say almost immediately, I'd say from 70% of the people are going to respond pretty quickly. And with those people, generally sleep is the first thing that they start to notice. A really deep restorative sleep. The next thing will be is, and it happens subtly. So a lot of people, like, let's say you have walking challenges, knee, ankle, hips, whatever it is, and maybe you've always walked down the stairs sideways. All of a sudden, somebody might just say, "Dude, you just walked down the stairs straight on," and they're like, "Oh, I didn't even realize it." So you see those things type of happen pretty frequently. We've seen people who have just literally, they put away their oxygen tanks. They just they have vibrancy and energy again. They have just like, and what that does for just everything in your life, for goal creation, for wanting to just move on to the next thing in your life. It makes it so much easier because you don't have these things that are kind of feeling like they're these dark shadows following you around. But yeah, a little different for everybody.
Yeah, sleep, energy, joint mobility. Cool. For my stepdad, who 3 back surgeries, I did see a testimonial that was done with a doctor, and he had his first one, I think, in 71. He's 81 years old now. When he saw the videos of the testimonies, he jumped out of his pants. He's like, "Holy crap! I can't wait to get my patches." And they started patching yesterday, so I'm really excited to hear what their results are going to be, or his results are going to be over the next couple of months. It could be an amazing story.
That's exactly it. I mean, that is why we like to stay connected to everybody in the community, because the stories and the testimonials that you hear. I mean, the unfortunate thing when you're dealing with holistic health is that we have to be careful with the claims that we make. I mean, obviously we can't treat, diagnose, and cure. So when people say something that's literally like they have some kind of a disease or medical condition, it's like technically we don't know what will happen. We know the body has the ability to take care of a lot of different things. This just enhances your net. So we never say this patch is going to heal you. This patch is going. It's literally like this patch gives your body, puts it in a condition where your body can heal itself. Because that's what it was designed to do. So any type of thing that sounds medical at all, I've seen just about everything in 2 years, which makes it really hard because this is classified as a FDA general wellness device, which means that it doesn't have to prove all of the severe science and millions of dollars that would have to go through that in order to make it a truly medical device. And what happened, and David Schmidt's plan with that was, had it become a medical device, you've just increased the cost of that and taken it out of most of the households already. And if you want to keep this affordable, if you want to keep it on the bodies of people that you love, then you make it affordable and you make it, work. And that was his whole entire, goal, was to make sure that this was accessible to anybody and everybody.
Wild. Yeah, my background is a nurse, and I see these things. I remember during COVID, where Dr. Fauci out there saying this is going to cure, it's going to keep everyone from getting, and we saw how that worked out. So we can't really trust FDA.
That's right. That's right. And especially when you have something that really is a disruptor in that community, because if you have things that are if your body is naturally healing itself, then it takes away a lot of need for other things that are less natural, medications and treatments that that would probably cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for sure. Even if you go down the path of stem cell injections and things like that, depending on where you get them. And, they're done a little bit differently in the US, but you go overseas and you get some really expensive ones and they can last a little bit longer. But when people have been researching stem cell, injections and therapies and that kind of thing, when you look at the cost getting started with this, which is like a cup of coffee a day, if you really look at it, depending on what, I mean, it's less than the type of coffee I drink. So it might be more than, for some people, but it's just a no-brainer that this is something that people need to try before they give up on something else, or before they, go down a drastic, anything else, whether it's, an invasive surgery of some kind. Now, always listen to your doctor. I mean, that's the other thing is, listen to your doctor, get medical advice. But this is just one of those things that if you're in control of, and you want to empower yourself in your own health, this is something so simple and easy that you can add, and you will know pretty quickly how well it's doing for you.
Yeah, I will speak to that. I had heart failure a year and a half ago. Dr. Romo, the premier stem cell doctor in Mexico, heard about my story. Friend Dave, who works for him, they came here to Panama me about 60K worth of stem cells over the last 18 months. Gave antibiotics with the mesenchymal stem cells. So we understand the whole stem cell thing and how wonderful it is. And now I'd like to see how the results are going to be once we have these patches on. And I know AJ was saying that he wants me to get tested, see what my stem cell levels are, so that we can show what the difference is going to be after a couple months.
Yeah, and that firsthand testimonial is really is really fun to see. I mean, we've had people who were accused of having stem cell by their doctors, and they're like, no. The only thing I did different is I started wearing this patch. So they literally were like, well, your stem cells or your bone marrow is functioning like you had this procedure. And they're like, no, we didn't. So I mean, we've seen all that stuff. We've seen the lab results. We've seen things that have just been, pretty amazing. So it's pretty cool technology that we have our hands on.
Yeah, I think it's great. All of it's wonderful technology, and if we can make our own, that's even better.
Absolutely, the most bioavailable anything in your body is what your body makes for itself. It's already basically branded for your body. So if you can just enhance those things, then it's going to take care of that.
Yeah, Love and Life is that. What test measures stem cells? I don't know. I didn't know there was a test for it, but AJ did recommend that.
Yeah, I would think just based on what I've heard from people who have gone down that process is I think there's obviously blood tests with but something involved with the bone marrow. I mean, they're looking for specific things. You guys are going to make me research and find this out for the next Q&A, aren't you? Because that's a great question. But people who have had to do that for because they're dealing with like a cancer or something like that, they have these procedures that they test those things out. One of them was a pro rodeo star, and he was beat up pretty badly at one of the rodeos, and his recovery was very quickly. And same type of thing when the doctors. So I mean, this is probably not a test that we're going to do as just the average person. I don't think you go in and you actually get those tests done, although it'd be pretty cool if you could. But this is somebody who was just like crushed by a bronco horse, so he was seeing extensive medical, and they just noticed this. What we have seen with people too is people who have went through surgeries, whether it's hip surgery, spine surgery, and they're scheduled. I don't know if you know this, but the doctors schedule the staple removal like at a timeline that they know that the wound is still not completely healed, so that the staples can come out. And then a lot of times they have to super glue or whatever the stuff is that they use the sutures together so that it continues to heal. In two cases, they were family members. Unfortunately, they both had different surgeries, but they came in to get their staples removed, and their skin had already closed over. And it was and the first time it happened to the mother, and she was like, "This is unusual. We always schedule these with enough time to make sure this doesn't happen." Well, then her son was in a major motorcycle accident, had a surgery. Same thing happened with him. His staples came out, and they were healed much faster than what they expected. So there's signs that there's really positive things happening, and it just changes the trajectory of what's normal. When you see this happen.
It's amazing. We're also big proponents of peptides. I love peptides. You're a fitness guy, Casey. I imagine you're surrounded by it at the gym. Everyone right now,
Yeah.
it's the gold rush.
Mhm.
So if I was to supplement with GHKC, does that not make any sense anymore once you're using X39?
No, because that's the main peptide that you're going to enhance. So, I mean, the way that I look at this is that, and I do believe that peptides are going to be a big thing for the future. I mean, just with any kind of science, if you can treat it for good and make sure that it's helping people. The way that I look at this is the dual purpose together could be huge, because you have basically signaling with the X39 that's going to tell the body kind of what it should be doing with stuff. And then if you introduce an exogenous type of peptide, it should communicate even better. I mean, I'm a huge proponent of health stacking. So I mean, I don't think anybody should ever stop something because they started something, unless that's like medication, yes. But anything natural that you're doing for healing purposes, I'm a big infrared sauna guy. I'm huge into PEMF. I mean, anything that's going to help signal the body to do natural responses, I think is huge. And then when you have something like the X39 that's going to signal it to do it the right thing, you've just increased, all of your chances and all of your odds on getting the benefit out of it that you want to. What's great for people who are beginning, like somebody like my mom, I'm not going to get her in a sauna. I'm not going to get her like, she just won't. But can I get her to put a sticker on the back of her neck? Absolutely. And that's where we start with everybody, because if you do, I mean, you'll either go down, two different paths. You'll go down the path of like, this is so incredible. What more can I add to my health, my health regimen, right? And you're doing more and more red light, or you're doing more cryotherapy, or you're doing whatever. Or you're going to be down the path of like, you know what? I'm good. And I don't have to do all those things. Like, thank goodness, because I don't have an interest in that. But, it is fascinating how people's interests change when you're not feeling the best. Because then you're looking for everything. So I mean, we've had cases where people have reduced some of their supplementation. They were on, workout and performance supplements that were going to help with recovery. The X49 by itself enhances, lean body mass repair. It has been shown to increase the way that you utilize leucine, which is one of the main branched chain amino acids that's responsible for muscle protein synthesis. So if you have your body's natural ability to utilize that 4 times better than taking a supplement, and I have some great supplements that I use for that. But, if you don't have to, why? It's like, so some people have actually backed off. We've had some pretty, extreme cyclists who have been able to literally reduce some of their performance recovery supplements and just rely on what's happening with the X39 and the X49.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have one last question about the X39. I heard that you should drink more water while using it. Why is that?
With everything, with any one of these patches, you would want to drink more water. We're talking about cellular communication. Think of it like circuitry. So it's like electronic current, signals that are getting sent through the body. It's going to move much faster with high levels of conductivity. And the cells need to stay hydrated. They also need to stay full of the nutrients that they're going to be, filled with, not from the patch, but from just everything that you have going on in your life. So if you've got full, healthy cells, because they have the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that it needs, and then you have full, water and hydration, you're just going to be sending off those signals, and your body can respond to them. So that would be the reason why. And in some cases, when you're burning through, energy a little bit differently, you can feel a little bit more dehydrated. So making sure that is, another common thing is people will do some Celtic sea salts, or I tell people never hesitate to like salt your food. That the whole craze of, now, unless the doctor told you that you have hypertension that's connected closely to sodium, or you're on a medication that's going to, spare sodium and increase your sodium. Otherwise, I would say salt your food, make sure you get the electrolytes and the minerals that you can, because that'll only help. Tiffany's got a question about, or not a question, she knows everything. She knows a lot about the Eon. She wants me to discuss a little bit about the Eon. But it's a wonderful patch for a number of different things. It actually, it replicates or duplicates the process of 2 peptides that are seen in royal jelly. So royal jelly, which has been, researched for hundreds of thousands of years probably, but there's 2 peptides in there that it actually mimics what those 2 do. So, but what we see is inflammation reduction. We see brain balancing. This is a great one for overthinkers, over analysis, people that have a hard time sleeping because you can't shut off the brain. We've seen, like in the event of inflammation, if somebody has a bee sting or something like that, you can place it on there. You see some, some improvements and reduction of discomfort right away. So there's some really cool things that happen with that. I would say, we probably start everybody off with an X39 and an Eon. They're the two most common to use together right off the bat. I mean, it is an incredible one. I mean, there's not a single patch that doesn't just completely like, wow, like I need that, right? So there's so much of that. Let's see what Love and Life has here. Tip for anyone wanting to reapply the stick to the husband. It's on day 3, and I'm using the patches on me. I found this glue. Okay, non-toxic body adhesive roll-on. Yeah, that's a great tip. I haven't heard of that one before. There are some medical band-aid, they're almost like tattoo bandages that you can get. I recommend this for my athletes, because if they're playing football or if they're playing rugby or something like that, they're going to get bumped, and if they're wearing energy enhancers on their arm, I mean, forget about it. They're going to sweat them off. They're going to, they're going to get tackled off. So there's this little, see-through patch that you can put on. Now it does block the skin a little bit more because it is a bigger square. So there will be some sweating that will kind of get trapped underneath there. So it's not something that you'd want to keep on forever and ever. But if it's something that you're doing a Spartan race and you've got, energy enhancers on and X39 and X49, and you don't want to lose them in the mud, you might want to stick a sticker on, a patch over the top of it and make sure it's secured. You can also do that with any kind of athletic tape or wrap or that kind of stuff too. But that's a great tip with the adhesive roll-on. Let's see what else.
So the patches don't actually need to be skin to skin. They could actually be a distance away.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So there's a small percentage of the population that's actually allergic to the adhesion, the medical grade adhesion that's on, say, even a Band-Aid, right? Yeah, okay, we got one there. So you literally could take this the sticker side of the patch and place it on your shirt, let's say the back of your shirt, and stick it to your shirt, so that the adhesive is actually there, and so it doesn't matter if it's in reverse or pointed at or pointing away, it's still going to give you the same reflection. So that's pretty fascinating. I mean, we've seen just like discomfort relief almost right off the bat. Somebody who with literally over some bib overhauls, with like the ice waves is another huge one we haven't even talked about yet. But that's the pain patch, or it will take away a lot of discomfort. In fact, it should take away about 80 to 90% within the first couple of seconds. So this is one that it's amazing. It's one that we'll use in the health club. As members are checking in, I'll say, hey, how's your body holding up today? And, everybody's like, oh, I got this and I got this. And, I say, hey, can I experiment with you for a second? Can I go ahead and place these non-transdermal patches on you? Nothing enters the skin. Just test it out and just do me a favor. After your workout, come down and let me know how it feels. And what you'll do is you'll have a brown one and a white one. Some people miss that. It's in the front of the sleeve of the envelope. There's brown ones, and then there's white ones on the further part of the sleeve. You take them out. Usually you place the brown one in the pain spot, take the white one, and you start to do what we call the clock maneuver. So it might start with, upper trap. Maybe you move down to you'll test a bunch of areas out. And literally what you're looking for is an immediate reduction. And if you haven't found it yet, you keep moving the patch around until you find the triggering spot. It's fascinating. It will happen that fast. You'll see people start to break down in tears. You'll see the light bulb come on because it's actually like I've had that feeling for my whole life as long as I can remember it, and it's not there anymore. Like what just happened. So that one is a big awakener of what the technology is capable of doing. So when people have that experience, I say, if you think that's good, wait until you see what our X39 does. Especially for long-term stuff.
Now, as far as stacking the patches, how does that work? Like X39, X49?
Yeah, so for sure. I still continue to wear X39 and X49 every single day. So I wear them in the traditional spots. I have X39 in the back of my neck, X49 under my belly button. I've seen people actually stack them on top of each other with great benefits. So you can do that as well. We do recommend for people starting out that you may want to not get started on more than 4 patches at a time, just because you're going to have a detox or a reset is what we call it. We talked about the 4,000 genes that are going to get reset. Well, you don't want to overstimulate the body either. So if you start doing glutathione, which is going to have it could have a detoxification effect. You could actually feel a little bit worse because of that reset in the beginning. If you can work through it, if you can make sure you're hydrated and you can just drive through that and get past that sticky point, you'll probably end up feeling amazing. But for a lot of people, they don't know what to expect. So if you're, releasing, damaged cells, damaged toxins, that kind of thing, then you might experience some, icky feeling that hey, this isn't working. Well, remember, most people getting started on this, they don't know what to expect. And in some cases, people are going to think that it doesn't do anything. So when you have a positive or a negative effect, it's got a stimulus that's doing something. So it's pretty eye-opening for those people who may be questioning, the technology in the beginning, because you soon become a believer.
The chat's talking about how long these patches last and what kind of external factors can make them last.
Yeah, so obviously heat is one of them. What's recommended if you wear them in the showers, obviously you wouldn't keep it directly under the hot, like you're going to lose. Nobody really knows. I'm sure David Schmidt probably knows because I'm sure he researched it. But if you're in the hot tub or you're wearing them in the infrared sauna, by the time I hit the sauna, I'm usually ready for them to come off and I start my next 12-hour cycle. It's actually safer, for example, for you to store your patches in your cubby of your car in the heat and the sunlight than it would be to put it next to your body, because the infrared is actually going to be the thing that's going to kind of like kick it off. It's going to activate it. So really, a lot of people, it's protected pretty well on the sleeve because it has the foil insert. So it is protected against, body heat and that kind of thing. But you wouldn't want to carry them around in your pocket, because the closer it is to your body, so if you have a purse or a briefcase or something like that, that would be a better place to keep it than in your pocket. Although, I'll carry some with me into the gym when I go work out, because I never know if I'm going to run into somebody who needs something right there on the spot, and I can introduce them to, ice waves.
All right. What do we wear at night?
So Eon is a fantastic one. So a lot of people will do, and this just depends on how complicated you want to make it. So for my mom, I needed to make it as simple as possible, but she was willing to do this step. I said, take your X39, wear it from 8 to 8. When you come home from work, take that one off, put the Eon on, wear that one through the night. Okay. Take that one off, put the other one on. And that was the way that I kind of explained it to my mom. So the Eon would be a great one mid-afternoon, evening time, because it helps everything kind of rebalance and gives you that calming effect. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but I can get a little bit excitable. I can get a little bit wound up. So I actually like to wear my Eon during the day, because if I'm doing Zooms, if I'm doing calls, if I'm talking to staff members, if I'm calling the health clubs and the general managers, I want to be calm. I want to think things through. I don't want to overreact. So I do like to wear my Eon during the day. There is the Silent Night, which is specifically made for evening time, in conjunction with the Stellargize, which is the morning supplement. There's a great evening supplement, and that is you take that one at night, and it's night time. It's really great. The other one is Alavita. A lot of people will like to use the Alavita one. Has some great benefits for not only skin repair and collagen, but it does a lot of great things for sleep as well. So I think Candy prefers Alavita versus Silent Night. My son loves Silent Night. Or did he go to Alavita? I think. Sometimes you'll sleep so deeply, you'll have like amazing dreams. And for some people, I don't know if they don't like. I love my dreams. My dreams. I wake up laughing a lot of times. So it's like the more dreams that I can have, the more deep sleep. I love it. But I really notice a lot of deep sleep type of stuff with Silent Night for sure.
I will just. Oh, am I echoing?
Oh, I'm gonna turn my mic off so you can talk.
You gotta mute.
Sorry. I will say, like, the ones that you wear at night, typically Silent Night and the Alavita, because we're probably not sleeping for 12 hours. I wish we could, but so I will say, like, I put a fresh one on every night, but there are some people who will do like 8 hours of Silent Night, re-stick it back onto the backing, have it by their nightstand, and wear it one more night in a row. But I would say for all other patches, Eon, X39, all of those, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And then with the energy and the ice wave, if they stay stuck to you, you can wear those up to 24 hours and then replace as needed for those 2 patches.
Okay, sounds like I need to get the ice wave for my stepdad because he's got all the pain and I know that he has the Eon and the X49 or X39, but I'll get him the ice wave as well.
Yeah, one of the recommendations we make for that is, if somebody's coming on and they're already at a pain threshold of 5 or higher, generally we'll get them started with, X39, Eon, and ice waves. And we've seen cases where, people are going through some pretty severe stuff where they started with that, kind of treat it like how you would a pain medication in a way, where it's like you might need it every single day at first. And then you might only need it 3 days a week. And as your X39's kicking in and as your Eon's doing its job, pretty soon you're like, I haven't even needed an ice wave. And then you go out and you bash your finger with a hammer. And then you're like, oh, it's a good thing I have ice waves around, right? So it's good for those like acute type of things. I strained my bicep doing a whole bunch of lifting for the health club, doing some 25-foot rolled rubber rolls that were extremely heavy. And after doing, 20 of them, my bicep made a little funny noise and immediately started hurting. So, but what I was able to do was immediately put on ice wave. So having those around if you're a sports mom or dad, if you're a coach, having those available. Had we had those around when our daughter was playing collegiate volleyball, who knows? We probably would be in the universities now with this, but we just, we found out about it much later.
Interesting. Speaking of volleyball, the Syracuse team was at the restaurant we were at last night. Syracuse University. I'm like, what the heck are you guys doing in Panama? These girls were so tall. It's like, what's going on? It's a lot different than when I played volleyball.
Yeah, our daughter was a libero, and she's about our height. I'm not tall, so just so you guys know, I'm pretty short. But here we are going to every single event with nothing but these tallest girls everywhere. It's like, you'd think, thank goodness, like, I'm okay with my identity, but I'm just like, man, this is like the one place I don't want to be where every woman here is like 6'2".
Oh, that's great. I think
I have an ice wave testimony.
Oh, go ahead, AJ.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yes. Hey, you guys, thank you for coming on, first of all, and it's an honor to be able to have you here. And I think it's a very big deal that you're here. And obviously, it's a very big deal that we were grateful, and we're like grateful that we ran into this product. We've been talking about stem cells and peptides for a few years now, and so this kind of just landed in my lap, and the rest is history, right? So it would be great to talk to you maybe after the call. But anyway, I do have an ice wave story. I have a client that I walked into. He actually just signed up as a brand partner, waiting for his patches. And I walked into his warehouse 2 days ago, and I noticed one of his older sons wasn't there. He hasn't been there in like 10 days. And I said, "Where's Riley at?" And oh, well, Amanda broke her ankle and hasn't been here for 10 days. And then Rob comes out, my friend who just ordered. He's like, "Yeah, well, they were out on a run, and the dogs ran out in front of her. She fell over, broke her ankle in 3 spots. Went into the emergency room. There's a measles outbreak." And she got scheduled to go in for surgery the next day. She comes back in the next day. They will not operate on her because she does not have her measles vaccinations. The paperwork. She's 33 years old. She's from California. She does not have the paperwork. It's 12 days later. She's still at home waiting. And I said, "Rob, we need to get some patches out to her. Where is she at?" "She's in Wilsonville." And I'm in Clackamas. And he's like, "AJ, she just broke three damn bones in her. That patch is not gonna help." And I'm like, "Look, I'm sending Ashley out there right now. Give me his address." And we literally zoom out to Wilsonville, put the patches. Narcotics are not working on her pain. And she literally puts the ice on and the E on. That's all we brought out there. 20 minutes later, she's like, "I think it's working. I think it's working." And the last 3 days, she's been like, it's been still painful, but manageable. And so Rob has to call me up, and he says, "Hey, Jay, Like, I don't want to pump your ego up more than it already is, but dude, thank you. Because he laughed at me. He's like, I am so sorry that I laughed at you, dude. Thank you for bringing that out to her. It is working. Dude, and I have heard thank you several times in the last 3 weeks already. Like, that is so like amazing just to hear, like, thank you, man, for talking to me. And so that's a huge testimonial. And hey, I knew that because there's a person in our group who's also been on Lifewave for 3 years. She broke her ankle at she fell on the stairs at her sister's house. This is probably a few months ago. I don't see her on the call, but she actually crawled back up the stairs at 3 a.m, put some patches on her ankle, goes to the emergency room, and had broke her ankle in 3 spots and didn't even know it because she had the patches on her. So I already knew that it was going to work, but man, it is an amazing testimonial.
That's huge. And here that reminds me of a story. And because you never know, like the movie Inception, you never know, like, if you change something, what somebody's impact is going to have. And I just learned about ice waves after already doing X39 for a while, but it was one of those new, let's try them all, right? So we started researching that. We got it. I went over to my buddy's fitness studio, and he was complaining about his neck. So I said, hey, I'm going to put these on you. Here's how you do this. I'm going to send you a video so you know how to do it. And he stops me and he says, hey, will this work on kids? And okay, now, first of all, no research has ever done it on all the things. But I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, what's going on? He goes, well, my daughter, who hasn't been able to literally walk without a limp, has a track meet that she would like to. It's the last track meet of the year, and she hasn't been able to go. And they're sports people, but his daughter's on that edge of, like, maybe not wanting to do sports. So they're looking at this as like, look, this is that path where somebody either, they continue on with the sport that they love, or they end up under the bleachers smoking cigarettes with the other kids, right? So it's like, where are we going to go? So he takes, and he's well versed in massage and PEMF and all the things, and he's been trying everything with her. He goes home, puts the ice wave on. She immediately starts walking, doesn't have any issues. She says, okay, that's weird. I'm going to compete today. So she goes to the track meet. She PRs in her javelin, and she qualifies for the regionals. So, I mean, again, heightened, attitude through the roof, super excited about her sport that she loves to do, was able to do it one last time before her, her event. And my buddy was just blown away at that point. I mean, he's just like, okay, obviously this is coming into our fitness studio at this point because everybody needs to know about this.
That's amazing. Guys, I don't want to keep you all night. If Tiffany or Sheila or somebody wants to take us out, Casey and Candy, we appreciate you guys coming here so much. AJ and I we promise we're out here working our asses off, and we're going to help build this business and help as many people as we can.
That's it. It's all about helping people. It's all about just, and literally names of people we place on your heart. Know that you'll need to reach out to them, and they'll be like, hey, I can't believe you called me. I was just thinking about this. And there you go.
Yeah, you guys are killing it, both of you. You're on fire, and all the lives that you're going to touch, it's amazing.
Thanks, Sheila. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We really appreciate you, Casey and Candy, being on here, and Randy and Annabelle for hosting this. And my understanding is it's going to be available to watch back, which will be wonderful. And AJ, thank you. You're kind of the glue that's bringing us all together. So thank you to the rest of you for being on here tonight, and look forward to watching this back.
All right. Well, cheers. Thanks, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.